Well, it's time for round number 3 then, everybody in China. Welcome back to Season 2 of the Sauber Career Mode. Be interesting to see how we go this weekend. Obviously a lot of upgrades have been made. The car definitely did move forward in Bahrain, but we didn't necessarily make use of those upgrades. We can afford an engine power increase. And a fuel efficiency increase, or we could wait for one of those bigger upgrades of the chassis, downforce or the drag. I think we'll wait till at least the end of practice. We should, if we're lucky, be able to get enough to maybe go for maybe the downforce or the drag, which will probably give us a bigger gain. So let's get practice underway anyway and see how the car's feeling. It does look like it's going to be raining. Whether that'll stay for the whole weekend, we'll find out. But let's get straight into practice and get those crucial resource development points. Oh, we're 5 points off. Goodness, it's slippy. China is a difficult track at the best of times for traction, but in these intermediate conditions, boy oh boy, is it a hard track to master. Green is good enough. I think what we'll do is see what the weather's doing for the rest of the weekend. Obviously it's very useful to be out here if it's going to be wet for either qualifying or the race. If it's going to be dry, there's not much we can gain from this. Okay, so it's going to be relatively dry for the rest of the weekend, so we shall go into practice 2 and into practice 3 if we need to do the tyre management and the qualifying run, and maybe have another go at the track acclimatization. There we go then, track acclimatization now maxed out. It's a lovely sunny afternoon for practice 2, and it's going to be pretty much dry for the rest of the weekend. So let's get back to the pits and get back out on that tyre management run. Oh, we mucked up that last lap. It's a bit of a shame. Wide into turn 1. The first time we've done that all weekend, and I normally do that 4 or 5 times during a weekend on this track. So easy to overcook turn 1. Such a tricky long right-hander to get the gear shifts and the balance of the car correct. It's a shame, but green I'm happy with. I'm not going to keep pounding away trying to get every little point, so let's get on to qualifying anyway. Qualifying pace, should I say. Hopefully we can get some points from there, get ourselves a nice upgrade for next time out in Russia, and get on with qualifying itself. Okay, well we were about half a second off on lap 1. Never really stood much chance on 2 or 3 because the tyre wear is so extreme on this track. But I'm happy that we hit the green objective at least. China is definitely not a favourite of mine, and it's very tricky to hook up a lap. Race pace is a bit easier in this because you can just be smooth and don't have to push as hard. Qualifying around this track, it's so easy to just lose a massive chunk of time getting the braking point wrong or the traction point wrong. Entry, turn in, it's so tricky on this track. It's a track of very small margins, so I'm happy with that. I'm happy with practice as a whole, so let's get going on to qualifying then.
We'd like to welcome you from wherever in the world you join us today for this F1 qualifying session here in Shanghai, China. This has been an exciting track in times gone by, and typically it entertains the moment the lights go out.
Turn 1's always a consideration for this race. It's certainly a difficult one to get right when surrounded by other cars, but the race isn't won or lost there. You've got to be smart, get through, and hope your rivals get into trouble and not you.
Okay, so we're heading out on qualifying then. This should be a very interesting session. It'll be interesting to see if we can use the car's upgrades here. I've gone back to a bit more of a balanced setup as well, hoping that the car will be a bit easier on its tyres come race day, and hopefully getting a bit of a smoother lap by the car being a bit more planted in the corners will work out for us in qualifying as well. Getting out Q1 is going to be the absolute minimum, and we want to be of course knocking on the door of Q3. I don't know at China, sometimes hit and miss for me. Sometimes I'm miles quicker than I think, and sometimes where we are where we normally are, which is down towards the back of the grid. So let's hope it's a good day, but let's wind up for our first flying lap then. Oh, we do find a big chunk of time. Nearly 4 tenths. A lot of it on that last corner. We mucked it up the exit and forgot to put DRS on the first lap, which doesn't help. It's kind of tying one tyre behind your rear wing. Yeah, that's the saying. Is now. Time looks half decent. We won't know till we get back to the pits. Of course, we want to try and do it on just this set of tyres. As normal, I've completely forgotten to do our tyre allocation, and only myself to blame that we've only got 2 sets of super soft tyres for Q1 and Q2, so we don't want to go wasting that second fresh set unless we absolutely have to. So let's get back to the pits and see if that's good enough to get us through to Q2. Okay, that is good enough, just about to get through then. About 3 tenths. We seem to be pretty comfortably on the back of that midfield now, because Nazar comfortably through as well, our teammate. It'd be difficult to make any better progress than that in Q2, especially considering the soft tyre runners of Rosberg and Ricciardo there, but you never know, we normally find quite a bit of time when it matters the most, so hopefully we can make an improvement and get as far up the grid as possible. So let's get on to Q2 now and see how we go. Oh, final lap puts us 9th provisionally. Really struggled on the first couple of laps, which is not good on this circuit, because if we take a look, yeah, 18% wear on the tyres. There's definitely a better time in the car, but I'm very surprised that we've snuck into the top 10 for now. Not going to complain. I'm going to have that nervous wait now back in the pit lane to find out if it's enough for another Q3 appearance. But either way, I'm going to be pretty happy with how this qualifying has gone. But let's get back to the pits then and find out. Well, we sneak through then by just over 1/10 of a second to Q3. That's quite a result for us. But again, unfortunately, it's that horrible thing of the AI and the Williams again trying to qualify on the soft tyres, and they clearly don't have enough. I mean, it was close, fair enough, but they clearly didn't have enough pace. So why on earth Bottas did 2 stints on the soft tyres? Why you wouldn't put on super softs and try and get into Q3, I have no idea. But once again, we're going to benefit from it. Definitely showing good pace. Pascal Wehrlein having a great qualifying there as well, up in 14th. And our teammate unfortunately couldn't improve from 16th. Pretty poor lap from him. I think he was in the 37s. in Q1 from what I remember, so a bit disappointing from NASA, but the car definitely continuing that trend of being a big improvement over last year's. So let's get into Q3, not expecting miracles, but we get a free set of tyres, so we may as well give it a crack. Holy moly, that felt good all the way around the racetrack. And it came out so, a 36.5. Bear in mind it was a 37.3 in Q2. There were so many times I thought I'd lost it then. The car was horribly unbalanced into the small left-hander before the long right-hander before the back straight. Just the double left-hander before that I'd been getting wrong every qualifying session and just hooked it up perfectly. And I mean, we could go for another lap, but what's the point? That's about as perfect as we're going to get out of this car. Oh, that felt good. You know, when you hook a lap up on this game, as with any racing game, obviously not quite as big a feeling as a proper simulation game, but it just feels, it's just the best feeling. It really is. A lot of games, obviously you get a great feeling from doing well in them, but something like a racing game where you're using a steering wheel and you're feeling the response of the car and you just know when you've got it right, and that feeling is just second to none. It really is. Oh, I'm so happy with that. Well, I'm still stunned. We've ended up 5th on the grid for tomorrow's Grand Prix then. Just the Mercedes and the Ferraris ahead of us. I think we're flattering ourselves a little bit with that lap time. That was as perfect as we would hope to get. But the chance of some decent points tomorrow have definitely... the percentage has definitely increased a massive amount with that lap. Okay, with that fantastic qualifying then, it means we have the pick of the upgrades. I think downforce or chassis weight are the most obvious. They're the biggest gains anyway. Just trying to do the maths quickly. I was wondering if we can get both of those, but we can't. No, a long way off. I mean, chassis weight is the bigger advantage on the graph. I feel like downforce is going to be the biggest thing that we can feel on the car. So I'm going to go for downforce, the rear wing main plate. Hopefully that's going to be ready in time for Russia, and should make a good difference there. And it's, depending on other cars' upgrades, it should bring us even closer to the midfield, and hopefully ahead of maybe one of McLaren or Williams. Depends how it shakes out, but let's get going for race day, shall we?
Ever since the Sauber of Felipe Massa passed Jenson Button into turn 1 at the very first Chinese Grand Prix in 2004, Shanghai has consistently provided close racing and extraordinary memories. It's where Lewis Hamilton effectively lost the title in his rookie year, and it's where Nico Rosberg claimed Mercedes' first win of the modern era in 2012. Shanghai International Circuit then, a 16-corner high-speed thrill ride. The long and ever-tightening right-hander at turns 1 and 2 tests a driver's patience, and the flat, open to the elements location, tests their skill in a crosswind. 2 DRS zones will assist passing, and overtaking is available into turn 1, and of course down the kilometre-long back straight into the hairpin at turn 14. I'm joined again today by none other than Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, obviously there's a lot of development work that goes on with these cars between the races. You've been both a test driver and a race driver. What differences are there in the way you approach those roles?
Interesting question, Crofty. They're two very different mindsets. I mean, when I tested for BAR, we had full in-season testing where, per driver, you'd cover up to 15,000 kilometres per season. And in that role, it was more about working for the team, trying to help them improve the car and drive as systematically as you could, so that that data could be analysed in the most consistent way. When you're lining up on the grid for a race, however, your frame of mind's all about what you can get out of the situation on that day, and the car's the tool to help you achieve what you want. You still want to focus on setup, of course, but it's more about the here and now, getting yourself as far up the field as possible, and less about development work for the future.
Okay, watch out at the race start. There will be faster cars trying to get past. See if you can hold them off.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion. And Kimi Raikkonen completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Rosberg and the Sauber, Daniel Ricciardo and Verstappen, Button, Hamilton, Massa and Sergio Perez, Alonso, Bottas, Nico Hülkenberg and Wehrlein, Grosjean, Nasser, Rio Haryanto and Kevin Magnussen, Palmer and Gutierrez, Carlos Sainz and Daniel Kvyat completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay, well, our qualifying just gets better and better, doesn't it? Lewis Hamilton there, as you would have seen, demoted down the grid with a penalty, so we shall be starting from P4. An even more daunting task into the long sweeping right and lefts of turn 1 and 2 here in China. Another thing of note, I really wish, if anyone remembers back to obviously F1 2010, your driver used to be able to select his name from a list, and then it would be in the audio tracks for your team manager at the time or your agent to be able to speak it. I wish there was a system for this, because I'm so sick of hearing "and a Sauber driver." It really breaks the immersion, unfortunately. I know they can't do every name, but you'd think if they've got David Croft in the English commentary per se, to be sitting down in a box for a day or two to record audio, they're not just getting to read a list of names. It'd be so good to hear something, a name you'd picked anyway. It doesn't necessarily have to be your name, because I know Jamie and Ellis aren't very common at all, but it would be a nice touch. Anyway, we're rambling. This is how we get bad race starts and muck it up. Let's take a look at the race strategy for today then. Unsurprising that it's going to be a lot of stops. It's a very high tyre wear circuit. 3 or 4 stops. Quite a big difference between the two we're being offered. We've got to start on super soft tyres, because of course that's what we went through Q2 on. So we'll decide the strategy in the race again. We'll bear that in mind, that we've obviously got 2 sets of softs, a medium and another set of super softs available to us. We'll see. The 3 stops probably the preferable. You're probably going to want to be getting onto a harder compound of tyre as soon as possible in this race, because the super softs are just going to be eaten up very, very quickly. And there's also, of course, a potential of taking advantage of safety cars, which getting on the right tyre at the right time is very important around this track. So, pretty excited. So, let's get underway for the formation lap of the Chinese Grand Prix. Here we go then for the Chinese Grand Prix, and round number 3 is underway. pretty good start. Everybody getting either average starts or good starts there. Very watchful into turn 1. We'll see if we can find a way down the inside of Rosberg. And the outside is going to be difficult, so we're going to fall in behind. But we've maintained position, which is all we could hope for. Might get a run onto Rosberg into the braking zone though. Oh, we've locked up and got him very deep. Vettel very politely gets out of our way. Actually means we're going to have a run on him. Oh, this is very dangerous. Yeah, you go, Seb. You're going to be quite a lot quicker today. I'm not sure my nerves can take that kind of action on lap 1. We're in 3rd place though, what a start. That's our mistake. I think we're going to let him go. Oh, does he want to go? I don't know what is going on. Rosberg goes down the inside. Oh, the AI just didn't know what to do there. I outbroke myself. And we're going to go down the inside. This Ferrari engine in this Sauber is ridiculous. Look at what's going on behind. If there is not an accident. Oh, there's chaos. Oh, look at all that. Safety car, we're going to take that opportunity to pit. We did kind of cause it, so but we may as well take advantage of it. Wow, I've got to say, I think we maybe turned in on someone there. The replays will show us, but we caused an almighty tailback. It was always going to happen. All started from us making that late braking move on Vettel, and then kind of feeling bad. So I was going to just let him go. Yeah, alright Jeff, calm it down. Shut up, Jeff. Cheers, mate. Yeah, so we let him go, and then Vettel just... The AI, when they're in really weird situations or offline, they just don't know what to do. They really do not know what to do. It caused this really weird situation where he was just accelerating and backing off, accelerating, backing off, and before we knew it, the entire field was backed up. So going into that hairpin, it was always going to be pretty likely that there was going to be some kind of incident. Okay, safety car in this lap then. We need to try and get past these soft tyre runners of Hülkenberg and Kvyat as soon as possible, possibly Sainz as well. So wait for that green light. No overtaking till the safety car line. Not sure where that is. Oh, problem with Sainz's car, and he's in the pits already, as are quite a few other cars, which is really to our advantage. We're underway racing again as Hülkenberg has a look at Kvyat into turn 1. We're going to try and go up the inside as well. Oh, Hülkenberg just slamming on the brakes there. Cheers, Nico. Just what I needed. 2 Hasses and a Renault in front as well. Not what I was expecting. That's very good news. Massive battles between the 2 Hasses. Renault, Palmer and Grosjean. Don't move over, Jolien. Don't move over. Oh, this is going to be difficult in turn 1. We were getting boxed in by Grosjean there, really. Still are. Nowhere to go. Can't use the speed. Slight contact with Palmer. Got the inside line though. Into 2. Muscle him out. Right, good job. That's 2 of them. Needs to line up Grosjean here. Got the speed. Don't think we're going to get DRS. Nope. Hopefully this Ferrari engine is enough. Looks like it. We're in a really good position here. As long as we can stretch our legs away from Grosjean. Tyres still good for another 5 or 6 laps, hopefully. As Raikkonen now comes in for his first stop. Okay, this stint's gone really well then. I think we're going to go straight onto medium tyres to give us the soft tyres right at the end of the race. It's going to be the toughest stint of the race, that's for sure. Okay, so it's going to be the medium tyres. I think 2 stops to go. Be interesting to see where we come back out here. So I think the field's been muddled up a little bit by the safety car and by a number of incidents. We come out in a really good position here. 7th place behind Bottas in the Williams then, ahead of Hamilton on the soft tyres. We're going to have to be patient on these mediums. They're not going to be the ideal race tyre. But they're going to need to get the distance out of them that we need to be able to have a nice, clean, flat out run on the soft tyres at the end of the race. Hamilton right on our tail. Not really surprising. Has he got the straight line speed? He does with DRS. Let's be honest, we're not racing Mercedes this afternoon. May as well let him go. He is on the soft tyres as well. Got a nice gap to the cars behind. That's what I'm really happy about at the moment. We've just got to settle into this stint and see how far we can take these medium tyres. Just a little update then as we come round to finish lap 15 in a minute. We're just about keeping a gap to Massa, who's being chased down by a Renault. Surprisingly, I think it's Jolien Palmer, who was just behind us when we pitted from the lead. Medium tyres holding up well. Oh, Jensen button out the race. Is there going to be a safety car? This will be interesting. Kind of hoping there isn't, because this would be the worst possible time for one as we pass someone out the pits. No, I don't think there's going to be. So, yeah, medium tyres holding up well. There's kind of 2 options at this point. We either try to go to lap sort of 22, 23 and put a set of super softs on, or we stop about 19, 20 and put a set of softs on. Softs are probably going to be my preferable choice, just because they're going to be that little bit more durable. Super softs probably going to have to start running out of grip the last few laps. So on the softs we should be able to be a lot more aggressive. Be really interesting to see where we shake out in all this. We're just about holding pace with the soft car runners around us, apart from Hamilton. And you've got to presume that they're probably going to go to the mediums for the final stint. So it'll be really interesting, as long as we can hold it together for the rest of this stint, as to what our pace and whereabouts we're going to be when we come back out. Okay, I think we're going to make our move this lap. It'll leave 9 laps on these soft tyres. Oh, a little bit wide. Careful, careful. Let's not do a Lewis Hamilton. And safely into the pits. Okay, be interesting to see where we come out here. A lot of cars probably going to be on the medium tyres. Let's put the super softs on. That's not the plan at all. I don't know why it's done that. Oh, contacts. Massa's gone straight into us. I think we've avoided any damage. We have. Not much I could do there. He just turned in on us. I'm really frustrated I'm on the super soft tyres though. That's not the plan at all. Well, that's gonna certainly spice up these last 9 laps, but I feel we just shot ourselves in the foot there trying to get these 9 laps around China. Oh dear. At some point they've decided to put on the super softs and I haven't checked which tyres were being put on. My fault a little bit, but considering the strategy I had selected was to finish up on the soft tyres, you can understand why I'm a bit annoyed that they've decided to change it at the last minute. Already 7% wear on the fronts. This is, I think we've just ruined our race. Or Sauber have just ruined our race. Well, it's already saying to go in for the soft tyres in about 4 laps time, 3 laps time. So it's clearly changed me to a 4-stop strategy, so all we can really do at this point is just go flat out on these tyres. We've got so much fuel available because of the safety car. So just use these tyres till we start losing pace, and then we'll have to go in for the soft tyres and hope we can somehow get the 6th position back. Lock-ups like that are really not helping our cause though. Well, we're almost at 50% and there's still 5 laps to go after this one, so no matter what we do we're going to have to pit, so we may as well get it done, get it out of the way, and then we can hopefully use those soft tyres to try and make up some positions. So we're going to box this lap, put on those soft tyres, and hopefully we're still in range of some points. Well, there goes our teammate. We're down to 14th then. Pretty disastrous. Hopefully we can get in range of NASA with DRS. Just get this move done as soon as possible. It's going to be close. Well, muck that up a little bit. Kind of driven him off the road. This race is really getting scrappy now. Oh, we could have just walked home in 6th place if they just put on the right tyres. Rosberg out the race then. That's one more position. In all honesty, we might just about catch Grosjean. We're not going to get anywhere near the points, unfortunately. Ricardo's out of the race as well. There he is. Doesn't look like damage, so it must be mechanical. Puts us up to 11th. Grosjean would give us a point if we can get there. We're only going to have one lap to do it though. It's going to be a tall ask. Oh, it's not quite enough. Oh, what a disappointing race. Points were there for the taking today, they really were. Oh well, on to the next one. It's, yeah, I guess I'm a little bit to blame. Should have checked the tyre strategies, but ultimately it shouldn't have been changed.
So here they come now, out onto the podium. Wherever you go, anywhere in the world, the prancing horse flags are dominant in the grandstands, and they're out in force again today. It's Ferrari on the top step once more.
Okay, well, in a race that was really decided on lap 1, with that big incident into the hairpin after the long back straight. Very strange finishing order, really. 2 Renaults in the points. Great job from Magnussen and Palmer to take advantage of all the chaos. Sergio Perez, a pretty incredible podium, and Raikkonen in a class of 1 the whole race. Unfortunately, we miss out on points then, down in 11th. So our own fault, really. 6th was there for the taking today. Felipe Nasr down in 13th. Better result from him, but still not really threatening points, which is a bit of a shame. Well, that win takes Kimi Raikkonen to the top of the championship then, from Hamilton and Vettel in hot pursuit. Should be a good title battle this year. And Perez's podium lifts him to the dizzy heights of 4th place then, as Force India continue a strong start to the season. We unfortunately dropped to 13th. No points since Australia. We're going to need to rectify that as soon as possible. And in the Constructors, that really shock result for Renault means we actually dropped down to 8th place now. And really not the start to the season we were hoping it would be. Okay, well that's it from China. I hope you enjoyed the race despite the quite terrible finish due to the strategy mock-up, but such is racing, hey? I think with another new upgrade next time out in Russia, hopefully we can have a much better race. We really need some decent points now. It's getting a bit ridiculous considering how far our cars move forward. We're definitely not going to breeze to a title like a lot of people have done in Season 2, that's for sure. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button if you did enjoy the series. Should be back pretty regular now. Next episode should be out on Wednesday for Russia, so tune in for that. If you are new to the channel and you've liked what you've seen, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. It means the world. And until next time, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.
These battles have often been contained on single racetracks. Now, it's going global. The chosen chariot for this is the Red Bull 2016. Brilliant in the bends, but often hampered by its Renault engine. Lacking power on the...
Sorry? What do you mean? They make watches. Oh, okay.
Can they make up for the deficit on the straights with their Tag Heuer engine?
Sauber, a team that often I get confused as to whether they have overachieved or underachieved. A team of humble beginnings, founded by Peter Sauber in the 1970s.
built by Peter Sauber, Mercedes supplying the engines, the driver...
He would eventually work his way up the ladder to win back-to-back Le Mans races in 1988 and 1999, with the incredible Sauber Mercedes C9, a car that was relatively unchanged between the 2 years, such was its dominance. It was then that Peter Sauber decided to take a foray into Formula 1.